Hey, real quick, I wanted to come on. Something interesting happened yesterday, and it was amazing because after I shared this vulnerable moment, at the time I didn't know that it was vulnerable until an amazing teacher on Instagram, the credible teacher, that's actually his handle on Instagram, Mike, shared a post about the importance of sharing teacher anxiety. And I'll share his post so you can read it and also reshare it on your page if you like. But when he shared his post, it actually reminded me of the fact that I had shared with my students how I feel anxious when I'm not following the rules. And so I didn't really notice that until the last few months of 2019. And so it would be as simple as, like, if I was running a few minutes late, like if I was leaving the house, I would notice that I would get like really anxious. I would speed up driving. I probably would rush my kids a little more than I normally would. And I began to pay attention to what my body was feeling like. In those moments, I also realized that I would get really, really quiet, and I would sort of suppress my feelings in the sense of hoarding how I was feeling, and I was never sharing it with anybody. His post encouraged me to share my story. I am convinced that I'm not the only educated that feels anxiety. And so this video is about teacher anxiety, feeling anxious, crumbling under pressure, and what do we do when we feel that is happening. So I came up with three is my number, three quick strategies that I've been using, and it has definitely been a success throughout this journey, that I am accepting what is happening. I am paying attention to what's happening when I begin to feel my body get overactive or anxious about different situations. And so the number one thing that I want to encourage everybody to do is to create a safe environment and a safe space. I do that daily, especially with my boys. I teach on an all boys team, as I always share. I love my boys. And I make sure that it's safe for them. But then I realized I needed to make it safe for me. A lot of times when I feel anxious, due to different things, the culture or the environment of the school, I would get really, really silent. And I found that that's not always good either. And that I needed to share my story. Of course, sharing it with safe friends and people that I trust. But then it was so freeing when I shared it with my boys, because then they also are able to understand me a little better. And I think that when we don't understand something, it opens up a gateway to abuse. So I heard a saying one time, and it says, what we don't understand, we abuse. And I think that is so critical in the case of kids not understanding that teachers deal with anxiety too. I mean, like, you think about it, like if something's going on, or the pressures from whatever comes from our job, and we're having to teach and remain professional, but you may be dealing with anxiety, and that comes out in the oddest ways, because what's in us is what comes out. We do know that. And then the second thing, and I shared it already. So the first thing is create a safe environment. The second thing is share your story, of course, with people that you trust, and of course with your students. And then the third thing I said was to laugh. I find myself laughing all the time. I mean, I am one that is on social media, and I enjoy it. For the memes and the pages that I follow that are like hilarious, I can laugh like some memes or some videos that I watch. I'm like, oh my gosh, side hurting. And it really actually relieves some of the anxiety and anxiousness that I may feel throughout that day. And it's a release. It's a form of release, just like crying is. And I dare not close out this video without saying, seek professional help. If it ever gets to a point, if it ever gets to a place where all these different suggestions and things that you read on social media about how to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you, seek professional help. And sometimes, just to do a check-in, seek professional help for the case of just making sure that you're okay. They're professionals, because they are able to see and hear things sometimes that you're not able to see because you're in it. It's always good to have those outside eyes to come in and see the situation. So I wanted to come on here today and share my story in hopes that it helps other educators that may be dealing with teacher anxiety. And I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of February, as well as the rest of the school year. Again, I'm always available. You can email me, I'm using the link, or contact me using the link in my bio. And remember, you're not in this by yourself. We, as teachers, we need each other. Have an amazing day.